Well, before we began working with Rich, our business was very small, very small. I just started it, I think, about a year before we came on board with Rich, and just a handful of clients. We were bringing in less than $1,000 a month in revenue. It was very much a part-time hobby rather than what you would call a business. Um, and it was bleak. Not much money coming in, not sure how long we could maintain it, and not sure when a turnaround or when a change was going to happen. Had big dreams, big vision, but just weren't progressing like we needed to if we were going to chase this thing, especially from a full-time perspective.
Well, you're in a position whenever you're out on your own, you're starting something, you have a goal and a dream, and you know what you want it to be. But for us, we were young starting out, and I'm sure there was a lot of expertise and experience out there that we didn't know. And hiring a business coach, it was helpful, but there was still, we didn't have a lot of revenue built up yet. We were still very green, and we were in a situation where I kind of felt like it was either sink or swim. And at first, I don't know, I was a little reluctant to reach out and say, okay, yeah, we're going to spend this amount of revenue to have somebody give us that advice. It was very, very daunting at first.
Since working with Rich, we've come a long way, a very long way. Like I mentioned, less than $1,000 a month in revenue before we came on board with Rich and his team. Just last month, we actually did over 31,000 just in 1 month. We have the highest conversion rates that we ever had, set a record on that. But we went from less than $1,000 a month in revenue to, from a solopreneurship, you could say, with just me working and supporting clients, to where we are now. We have a team of 12. I no longer do any of the training or nutrition coaching. The team delivers all of the service. We've been able to live on a steady salary for the last couple of years and budget our personal life off of that salary. And then actually we're now moving into having company net profits after paying ourselves, which in the beginning when they were talking about it was laughable. We're like, how in the world, we're struggling to support ourselves on revenue, say nothing about leftover net profit. And we've come to that point now. It's amazing to think that we're truly working on the business. We're not working in the business. We focus our efforts on management and marketing. The team delivers the service, and the sky's the limit from here. We're looking at opening up Houston and other cities, and we're scalable now, and we're going to be branching out all over the U.S. is our goal now, and we're actually set and poised to do that.
Since working with Rich as our business coach, there's a lot that's changed. One of the things is the way that we track our performance and our numbers, and having actual records to look back on to see where we've been, where we're going. And it's really, working with Rich holds us accountable to making sure that we update that every month so that we can see, are we hitting the goals? Are we focused on going this direction? And by having all of that historical data now that we have, it's really helpful because we are able to make decisions on, is this a path that we should go down, or maybe should we not? I mean, we had the discussion when we first started out, should we focus on just being a service business, or should we offer products? And we went for a year trying to do both and looked at both of them and decided, you know what, we have the data to back up that maybe we should not be doing the products. Let's focus on the service because that's where our passion is, that's where our expertise is. And we wouldn't have been able to make that decision as informed if we hadn't been held accountable to making sure that we had that data.
If someone else was considering getting help with their business and hiring a business coach like Rich, I would say absolutely do it. I can't really talk to you about the details and try to convince you with the numbers, because I think you would be in the same boat that I was, not even be able to comprehend what you don't know. And until you get into it, until you start measuring, we didn't measure our business in the beginning. We knew it was poor, and we're like, how do you measure nothing? but we started filling in the blanks and writing down the ones and the zeros, as small as the numbers might be. We started recording and we started looking at it, and like I mentioned, it's changed drastically, and you just can't wrap your head around your need for something when you don't know what it is you're lacking. So I think that first step is necessary to open your eyes to even see what your need is and where you could be compared to where you're at. Then you can better grasp it. But we took a step of faith, and we don't regret it at all. I can't imagine the amount of time that we would have lost trying to figure out everything that we know now on our own. I mean, when you're excited about what you're doing, you can try to go get formal education and everything, but ultimately that slows you down. If you're a motivated entrepreneur wanting to build a business, you need someone who stays at your pace at the rate that you're able to learn, and then you can go as fast as you want to go. Ultimately, the speed is up to you. How much are you willing to learn, and how much are you willing to apply? And if you're willing to learn and willing to apply, you absolutely will not regret it, and will be way ahead of where you could be without the coaching.